The little girl stood alone at the edge of the brightly decorated school gymnasium, clutching a pair of tiny white dance shoes against her chest while every other child laughed in the arms of a waiting father. She fought back tears until a tall CEO walking through the building for a charity presentation noticed her trembling. When he gently asked if she was waiting for someone, the 6-year-old looked up with heartbreaking honesty and quietly admitted that it was the father-daughter dance, and she was the only one with no one to dance with. In that single moment, one little sentence changed 2 lives forever. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share this story with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our community can continue sharing stories that remind us how one act of compassion can change the world. Bennett Grayson had built one of the country's fastest-growing construction companies through relentless discipline. Every newspaper celebrated his business success, every conference invited him to speak, and every young entrepreneur wanted to learn his secrets. Yet very few people knew that behind every achievement was a man carrying a quiet sorrow. 5 years earlier, Bennett had lost his wife to a sudden illness. Since then, work had become more than a career. It became the safest place to hide from memories that still hurt every afternoon when the sunlight reminded him of family picnics, school concerts, and simple moments he wished he could relive. That spring afternoon, Bennett accepted an invitation to donate books and computers to Oak Ridge Elementary School. The event was meant to last less than an hour. After shaking hands with teachers and answering a few questions from students, he prepared to leave for another business meeting. As he walked past the gymnasium, cheerful music drifted through the hallway. Curious, he glanced inside and saw dozens of fathers smiling as they danced with daughters wearing colorful dresses. The room overflowed with joy, yet one small figure standing near the doorway drew his attention immediately. Her name was Clara Whitmore. She wore a pale blue dress with tiny embroidered flowers and held her dance card tightly in both hands. While the other children laughed and spun around the polished floor, Clara remained perfectly still, trying not to cry. Her mother had promised she would be brave, but courage is difficult for a 6-year-old surrounded by reminders of what she has lost. Bennett slowly approached without wanting to frighten her. When he asked if everything was all right, Clara answered with heartbreaking sincerity. Her father had passed away the previous year after a long illness. She still wanted to attend the dance because it had been his favorite school event, but she knew no one would be waiting for her. She explained that she only came to watch everyone else because she didn't want to forget what happiness looked like. Those words struck Bennett harder than any business failure he had ever experienced. He recognized the quiet loneliness hidden behind her brave smile because he carried the same feeling every day. He looked toward the teachers, who nodded gently. Clara's mother had remained at work at the local hospital because several nurses were unexpectedly absent. She had apologized repeatedly for missing the event but simply couldn't leave her patients. Without another thought, Bennett removed his suit jacket, walked to the center of the gymnasium, and offered Clara his hand. The room gradually became silent as everyone noticed what was happening. Clara hesitated only for a moment before placing her tiny hand in his. As the music continued beneath the bright afternoon sunlight pouring through the gym windows, Bennett and Clara slowly crossed the dance floor. Neither danced perfectly. Neither cared. Parents quietly smiled. Teachers wiped away tears. Even children stopped talking as they watched something beautiful unfold without a single rehearsed word. For those few minutes, Clara wasn't the little girl standing alone anymore. She was simply another daughter enjoying the dance she had dreamed about. When the music ended, the applause echoed throughout the gymnasium. Clara hugged Bennett tightly before thanking him for giving her a memory she thought she would never have. Bennett left the school believing the afternoon had ended. He had no idea it had only just begun. The following week, he received a hand-drawn thank you card in the mail. Inside was a colorful picture of the two of them dancing beneath a smiling sun. At the bottom, Clara had carefully written that she no longer felt invisible because someone had chosen to see her. Bennett placed the drawing inside his office where expensive awards had once occupied the most important shelf. Employees soon noticed the simple picture hanging above every business certificate. Whenever someone asked why it mattered so much, Bennett smiled and explained that it represented the greatest success of his life. Months later, he learned that Clara's school struggled to provide counseling and support for children who had lost parents. Instead of making another ordinary donation, Bennett launched a foundation dedicated to helping grieving children through scholarships, mentoring programs, family events, and emotional support services. His company embraced the project with remarkable enthusiasm. Employees volunteered weekends to renovate community centers, organize family celebrations, and mentor children facing difficult circumstances. For many workers, it became the most meaningful part of their jobs. Clara and her mother often attended these events. Her mother, Meredith, admired how Bennett never sought attention for his generosity. He quietly listened to every child, remembered birthdays, celebrated achievements, and encouraged families to believe that healing was possible even after heartbreaking loss. Over time, Bennett discovered that helping others slowly healed parts of his own heart. He no longer measured success by contracts or profits alone. He measured it by laughter returning to children who had forgotten how to smile. One sunny afternoon nearly 2 years later, Bennett visited Oak Ridge Elementary once again. This time the gymnasium looked different. Dozens of volunteers had joined fathers, grandfathers, uncles, family friends, teachers, firefighters, police officers, veterans, and community mentors. No child would ever stand alone again. The annual dance had become a community celebration where every student had someone willing to share the floor. Clara, now older and much more confident, greeted every arriving guest with joyful excitement. She no longer stood near the doorway waiting. She welcomed others with open arms. Before the music began, the school principal shared how one unexpected act of kindness had inspired an entire community to ensure that loneliness would never define another child's special day. No names were mentioned at first. Then every eye turned toward Bennett. He looked embarrassed by the attention, but Clara proudly walked across the gym, took his hand, and led him back onto the dance floor. This time, dozens of pairs joined them. Children who had once feared being forgotten laughed together beneath colorful decorations while families cheered from every corner of the room. The afternoon became a celebration not only of fathers and daughters but of compassion itself. As the final song ended, Bennett looked around the gymnasium and realized something extraordinary. Years earlier he had entered the building believing he was there to donate computers. Instead, a little girl had unknowingly given him something infinitely more valuable. She had reminded him that broken hearts do not heal by hiding from pain. They heal by sharing kindness with others. Before everyone left, Clara handed Bennett another drawing. This one showed an entire gymnasium filled with smiling families dancing together. Across the top she had written, "One person can change a whole room." Bennett framed that picture beside the first one. Both remained in his office for the rest of his career, reminding every visitor that true leadership begins with compassion. Before we finish this story, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment telling us about a small act of kindness that changed your life, or share how you believe one compassionate moment can make a lasting difference for someone who feels alone. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May this story remind us that family is sometimes created not only through birth but through love, that kindness often arrives when it is needed most, and that one person willing to stand up for someone else can transform a single afternoon into a memory that lasts a lifetime.